you guys how to draw a very famous character created by Walter Lantz back in 1941 in the cartoon Knock Knock, the one, the only, Woody Woodpecker. Alright, to begin our classic Woody Woodpecker, we're going to start with a simple circle. Now the best way to draw a circle is to always use your shoulder, because your shoulder has a natural rotation in it. It allows you to make it all the way around. So what we're going to do is we'll start with a circle about the size of a baseball or an orange. And you're just going to get your whole arm in rotation and draw nice and light. That's the key here. And keep your lines nice and light. Just get those initial shapes on the paper. I'll do some guidelines. Guidelines are always there to tell us where we put the pieces of the character, like eyes, nose, mouth, etc., etc., etc. For Woody, he's going to be looking off to the left. So we're going to draw a center guideline telling us where the center of his head is, but he's going to be looking to the left, so it's going to make a crescent moon shape on the inside of your circle. Alright, then we're going to do a horizontal guideline, curving across the bottom of your circle as if it were a ball. Alright, next we're going to draw his beak. And his beak is going to start just above this guideline, right about in here, just right on that center guideline to his head. And what we want to do is we want to draw a little curve that's going to connect the side of the circle up to that guideline right there. And he's got a little point at the top, so we're just going to curve down into the guideline, make a little curve, just like that. Now you're going to continue this curve to the right. We're going to curve up inside of your circle, and then we're going to curve around, keeping your lines nice and light still. Make a little hook there like that. Almost like a U shape right in there. Now this U shape that we just made is his cheek. Inside of his cheek we're going to draw a dimple. Dimple's going to be a little curve right here, just like this. So that we've got that line from your circle running right into the middle of that dimple. The reason we did that is because we're going to use the line of the circle now to draw a big swoop for his bill. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to follow this curve. And as soon as we get down here, so we're lined up with the bottom of that guideline, that's when we're going to start to curve back up again. And we're going to curve out. We're going to stop about an inch or so past that circle. It's important you're drawing up. So down and up. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to continue this curve, and we're going to curve up and connect that all together. Alright, we can finish this little curve off right there. And then we're going to make a little curve just there like that to give us a look of the other side of his bill. Or his woodpecker beak. You'll see his other cheek, which is simply because his head is turned, we have a different view of it, so it's just going to be a little curve right there like that. So that gives us Woody's beak. Now, his eyes are pretty close together, but they're really, really tall ovals. And we're going to kind of run against the side of your guideline right in here, and we're going to draw and curve up, kind of leaving that guideline behind as we curve this way, staying very, very close. This whole little dip in there is where his eyes sit. His other eye is going to fit into this area. We'll use the side of the circle for one part. Be a little smaller because his head turns away from us and it makes everything appear smaller on that side. Still going to have a little bit of a gap. Not very much though. See that little gap in there to separate the eyes. Now above his eyes he's going to have eyebrows. The eyebrows are just going to follow the same curve as the top of the eye. That one's just barely peeking above the circle. Just barely. This one will leave your circle and curve back in, following the same curve as the top of the eye. I'll give him some pupils. A good way to draw pupils is very simple. You just draw the whole shape. It's those times that you get lazy and draw half circles that make your characters cross-eyed or lazy-eyed or look like their eyes are rolling to the back of their head. In this case, we're just going to draw the whole shape on the inside there. It's going to be leaning against the eye, but as long as you curve away from the eye right there, you won't be cross-eyed. Gotta keep that space. The same thing on this side, a little smaller once again because it's farther away from us. So we get the whole shape in there. And then we get even closer down here and we draw another oval. Just in there like that. It's looking pretty good so far. So we're going to take this time now to just start to darken in some of our lines real quick. So we're just going to darken that curve right there and just get some of our basic shapes, not our guidelines or our original circle, but just the things we know are done. So that bill right there. Get that nice and dark. And we can get the eyes. We'll really get this side of the head as well. Careful not to darken any guidelines or anything you don't want to see in the end. Alright. Now Woody has that big tuft of feathers that sticks out off the back of his head. And we're going to use S-curves to get these feathers. An S-curve is really simple. It's anything that has the same back and forth motion as an S. So we can just lightly pencil this in so we get an idea. But down here where the circle touches the cheek is where we're going to curve out. Just a very smooth little curve. Like that. Now on the top, I'm going to pull this line in just a little bit, top right there, before I start. I'm going to draw a curve. It's going to curve out like this. I'm going to add some little feathers sticking up. Add a little spike, a little point right there. I'm going to curve down like that. Down here we can do the same thing, a little spike, little curve. And we're just going to connect this all together in the back there. Give him that blowing in the wind look that he's got. We can darken that line, just like so. Those feathers nice and dark. So there we've got Woody's head. We're not going to go too much farther, but we do want to give him a little bit more because otherwise he's just a creepy floating head. So if we, very lightly, if we followed where this line is against the side of the circle, we'd be coming out right here where his neck is at. So really flowing from the back of his head. You want to be careful not to draw through the duck bill, or through his woodpecker bill, rather. His beak. And then right down here where this line touches the bottom of the circle, that's where we're going to do the other side of the neck. Connects from there. So Really, the only parts we're really going to see are going to be this line and this line. He's got that little tuft of white feathers just up by his shoulders, and you can draw a couple little curves like that, like that. And you can just kind of follow the curve from going behind the neck. So one part's coming out there, one part's coming out there. And you can just give a little bit of feathers. And there you have it, a very basic Woody Woodpecker. Now, as an artist, you always want to sign your drawing, so throw your signature on there so everybody knows whose masterpiece this is, and you can also toss the date on there as well.